I started talking to Ken Shamrock at that time, who was wrestling with us. I run into Mark Kerr. Maybe I should train to MMA and go to Pride and make money, real money. And then I don't have to smile. I'm sure I'm going to get fucked up over there and knock one of my lungs loose, but maybe I could do something like that. Find the right coach and train. So I had this whole thing in my head. I was talking to my wife at that time. I said, I think that's the way to go, because those guys are paying real money, and these fans are booing me over here for $150,000. I get a call from Vince, and he says, how's your knee? I said, it's healing up. I don't tell him about this idea after I've talked to Shamrock and Kerr and all these guys. He goes, I want to try and bring you back one time, see how it works out. I want to turn you heel. And we have a faction called the Nation of Domination, who DC loves, by the way. That was his favorite, Daniel. The Black Militant Group. He goes, I want to have you join them, and we'll see how it works out. I come in. I said, okay. But I still got this MMA thought in my head. Again, I just want to make money, and I want to be myself.
Right.
When I get to the arena that night, I'm going to join the Nation. I went to Vince, and at that time, there was only just 2 hours of live show, Monday Night Raw. Now there's 6 hours of show on 2 different programs. So I said to Vince, hey, tonight when I go out there, could I just have 2 minutes on the microphone? And he's like, I don't know. He goes, it's live. You know, all our time's accounted for, allocated. I said, I just need 2 minutes. He goes, why? I said, I just want to be real and just tell the fans how I feel. And I feel like I need to recalibrate things here. He said, fine. A minute you got. Great. Get on the microphone. Now I'm walking out. They're booing me. Rocky sucks. But now I'm a heel with this heel group. I grab the microphone and I say something like, listen, I'm a lot of things, but sucks isn't one of them. And joining the Nation isn't a white thing. It's not a black thing. It's a me kicking your ass thing. And I'm going to earn this respect one way or the other. Dude, that was the most freeing thing for me in my career. It was like, you know how you have these defining moments? Mm-hmm. Even in that one little moment, I was just fucking ripping all this open. Saying, here I am. Now you can fucking boo me, but now watch how I respond. I'm going to be real.
Now you don't have to smile anymore.
I don't fuck the smiling. I'll smile when I want to smile.
Right.
But now watch how I can respond. Watch my words now. Watch my actions. Dude, the fans felt something that night. Within a month, I became the hottest heel in WWE.
Wow.
I think this is
yeah.
That's the gratitude I get from you pieces of crap for all my blood, my sweat, and my tears.
Look at that baby face.
Look at that, dude.
This isn't about the color of my skin. This is about respect. I became the youngest Intercontinental Champion in WWF history. And what did it get me? In arenas across the country, I heard chants of Rocky sucks. Well, Rocky Maivia is a lot of things, but sucks isn't one of them. You know, hey, that's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. And hey, let's talk about a racist faction. You want to talk about a group that's prejudiced? Let's talk about the DOA. The DOA epitomizes racism. But hey, you know what? The hell with the DOA. I want to make one point to all you jackass fans out there. Whoa. Rocky Maivia and the new Nation of Domination lives, breathes, and dies respect. And we will earn respect by any means necessary.
That was it,
and
brother.
That's it. That started off the heel journey.
Started it off, man. And then that was it. But you know what it is? I look back on that, and I feel like it's just a life lesson for all of us, which is the most powerful thing you could be is yourself. And even in that crazy world of fucking fictionalized pro wrestling that some people love, some people don't, that idea of...
Yeah, ripping it out, being who you are.
Here I am, man.
Yeah. Vince is just so interesting. He's such an interesting guy. The fact that he's driven for so long, this guy's been just fucking getting after it for so long. and just lives
Decades.
and breathes this idea of crafting narratives and figuring out who's the good guy and who's the bad guy and how to set up a storyline.
And paying attention to what's happening politically, what's happening, tapping into that, trying to always have his finger on the pulse of what's happening.
I can see how he tried the thing about you smiling all the time. You got a great smile, friendly, good-looking guy. Why not? Have a smile.
It's smile.
See if people like it.
And you know what he said? He goes, I'm going to give you a push, but I want to make sure people, if you smile, then people will know you're grateful. And I was like, okay, I get the conceit of that.
Right.
But there's other ways I think I can be grateful because otherwise I'm coming across as being a phony, and that's just not who I am. So, and by the way, years later, or even months later, I mean, he admitted, he said, I totally get it. Now I understand. Always got to be.
Did Japanese pro wrestling come out of American pro wrestling, or was it a separate thing that evolved on its own?
I think it was a separate thing that evolved on its own. Well, I think everything evolved out of American wrestling. That started off in the carnivals, started off in catch wrestling and things like that, which eventually evolved to one of MMA techniques.
So the carnivals, for people who don't know, literally they'd have traveling carnivals where someone would take on anyone in the crowd.
That's right.
And these were real wrestlers, real catch wrestlers who knew submissions, and they would, you know, pin guys and get them in ankle cranks. And
and so the thing that started going sideways, which required a Vince McMahon type. Well, wait a second, we're not doing this right. Because these guys who were just these fucking badasses, you know, they go to the carnival, you know, $10, $5, you come in and try your luck if you could beat the champion. The champion beat the shit out of all of these guys. But every once in a while, you got a guy who came in out of the blue, off the street, who knew how to protect himself and hold his own, might have known a hold or two, and we need to work this, because otherwise we're running a risk at us getting fucked up. Like, what if we took the show on the road?
Right.
So that's how this idea of pro wrestling out of the carnival started to happen.
It's really interesting because wrestling itself is one of the most dynamic and difficult amateur sports, but they never really figured out a way to take actual competitive wrestling and make it a legitimate professional sport that's watched by people, which is really insane. Because it's so exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people don't play tennis, but they still enjoy watching tennis.
That's right.
How is it that wrestling never got to that place?